Yo, what's good, y'all? What's good? Good morning, y'all. Y'all already know it's BX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip or none of that shit. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You heard? Y'all already know. Welcome to regular real shit music TV. You heard? I'm your host, BX Juice. You already know. Yo, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? You heard? I know I ain't been up here in a little minute and all that. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for rocking with regular real shit music TV. Y'all already know. I appreciate that. Appreciate the views and all that. Um, y'all know what it is, though. You already know. Shout out to all my people, everybody that fuck with me, everybody that know me or whatever. You heard? What up? You already know. Yo, today I want to talk about being neutral. You heard? Yeah. What does being neutral mean? What's the definition of being neutral? The definition of being neutral is uh, not having opinion or in any parties or more than one party of people having a disagreement or just having not having an opinion about anything and about nothing that's going on. You don't agree with anything that's going on in a certain type of setting or with certain type of people that's having a certain type of conversation or whatever they're doing. You're neutral in it. You just don't have no opinion about it. Today, neutral though, I want to talk about like I said, not being, you know what I'm saying, not being in the game. You know what I'm saying? That type of neutral. You know what I mean? And still having to go through the system and all that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, or not even just the system. That's probably the maximum shit though. When you go in there neutral, you know what I'm saying. You got to go to the island or you know what I'm saying, wherever in jail. Period. Um, just any of that shit, just being neutral in it. You know what I'm saying. But that's what I'm talking about. Basically the gang shit. You know what I'm saying. Not that I've been in the gang or nothing, but I have. If you neutral, it doesn't matter. You got to go through that shit. You got to go on the island. You got to be around Bloods, Crips, Yetas, Latin Kings. All that shit is in there. And if you ain't in the gang, nigga, you by yourself, nigga. Basically, unless you know what I'm saying. Niggas, a lot of people represent. A lot of niggas know a lot of niggas. You know what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. But still, at the end of the day, if you by yourself, you know what I'm saying. That's it. You know what I mean. I know I was. You know what I'm saying. Um, and being neutral like that, you know what I'm saying. You could come in a house. You know what I'm saying. Going on Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying. You could come. You come in the building, or and they got structure of shit, how they do shit, and how gangs do shit. You know what I'm saying. Phones and TV and all that shit. You know what I'm saying. Meals too. You know what I'm saying. Eating too. You know what I'm saying. Meals too. That type of shit too, you know what I'm saying? Help, giving only, if you ain't in the gang and shit like that, niggas don't fuck with you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna eat like they eat unless you know you getting your own shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you getting your own shit and you ain't in no gang, you desperately better be able to hold your shit down. You know what I'm saying? Period. Now everybody get fucking tested, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I mean? Mainly the people that really got something to get tested for. You know what I'm saying? Or niggas that be sneak thieving and all kind of wild shit, taking shit from niggas and taking shit out of niggas' lockers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Stealing behind niggas' backs and all that shit. Uh, those niggas, you got all kind of niggas in jail. You know what I'm saying? But mainly with that gang shit, if you ain't in the gang, most likely you're gonna have to fend for yours and fight for yours. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna stand up like a man. You know what I'm saying? And you walking your own shit. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I came in there by myself. And that's that. You know what I'm saying? I'm no troublemaker. If you read if you saw my story the last time, on my Rikers Island story, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't no tough guy, none of that bullshit. I'm tough on my own behalf, and when the fuck I have to be tough. You know what I'm saying? I'm always tough. Put it like that. And I ain't never. I'm always tough, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get down with whoever, whenever, and however. You gotta go. Pause. You heard? But you know what I'm saying? But still, you a one man gang. You only by yourself. You can't beat a whole bunch of motherfuckers. And these niggas is Bloods wasn't playing. I don't know that today's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? From what I see, you know what I mean? It's way different, yo. Cause when Bloods first was coming out and shit like that, Bloods and Crips, especially the Bloods, you know what I'm saying? I want to say that the most because that's what people really had a fucking problem with them niggas because them niggas was them niggas wasn't playing when Bloods first came out. Niggas wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? So they made niggas recognize. You know what I'm saying? Niggas had to. You know what I'm saying? Neutral, especially if you was neutral. You know what I mean? Um, and when Bloods came out, I grew up in the Bronx. Like I said, y'all already know that. Shout out to the whole Bronx. You heard? Whole NYC. But I grew up in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, in the '90s when that really started hitting like that, you know what I'm saying? I remember that shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember it coming out even before I got in jail. You know what I'm saying? Even before I went to Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? I remember, hearing like, oh, okay, gang and shit like that, Bloods and this, that, and the third. I was gonna be a Blood, you heard? I was gonna be a Blood, and I ain't have to get jumped into none of that sucker shit or none of that shit. Well, I don't want to say it's sucker shit. That's just how they was doing their stuff, I guess. I wasn't gonna have to get jumped into none of that and have to go through none of that. And I was gonna be West Side Swan, you heard? Um, but I didn't follow through with it. The reason why I ain't followed through with it because the person that wanted me to be Blood, you know what I'm saying? He was official. My man Eugene, shout out to you. You already know he was official. Um, but I didn't get no lessons or none of that stuff. I didn't get no paperwork saying what I should do, how I should do it. You know what I'm saying? He told me a little things. He told me who, what we are, what it is West Side Swan, and we're gonna rep for the big homie, such and such. I don't want to put nobody names out there because I never joined the gang. So, but he told me this stuff, um, and that's basically it. And he didn't, like I said, I don't got no paperwork or nothing from him. I'm wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying? I was throwing it up a little bit. Don't get me wrong. When he first told me, I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll be Blood. You know what I'm saying? And I was throwing it up a little bit, but I wasn't throwing it up because I didn't know how to throw it up. He never showed me how to piece nobody or how to throw no signs. He never showed me nothing. He just told me I was Blood. Yo, Juice, you Blood, son. This is what we rep for. Just da-da-da-da-da. We rep for the big homie such and such, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? After that, I ain't really see him no more after that like that. We was working in the courthouse and all that on my block on 161st, you heard? So after that, I ain't see him no more. You know what I'm saying? And, and so I still got, but I got it in my head that I want to, I want to be Blood. I'll be Blood. You know what I'm saying? West Side Swan. Um, but like I said, as time went on, and I started seeing that, as it got deeper and deeper into it, and one time I tried to, I tried to piece somebody, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Um, I knew I was, my nigga wanted me to be Blood and all that, but I didn't know what I was doing. Like I say, he ain't show me no handshakes or nothing. So, but he told me what to say. So I knew to say West Side, homie. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he told me I was going to be, West Side Swan. So, I knew to say that. And then when I said that, the Blood nigga, he stopped. And he wanted to piece me. But I didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, he just threw my shit down. You know what I'm saying? He ain't pop on me or nothing like that. But from there, and I said, damn, yo. From there, I was like, yo, Juice, there's no way you could be Blood, son, because this nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's rules and shit to this shit. I seen the account I just had with the homie, so I'm like, okay, I see his rules to this. You know what I'm saying? And I said, damn, I'm not going to be, and as time went on, I said, yo, I'm not going to be Blood because I don't even know how to throw the fucking Blood sign. I don't even know how to throw shit up. He didn't tell me none of that. So from there, I just left it alone, and I just never did that shit again. You know what I'm saying? I never tried to piece nobody or nothing like that. I left it like that, and I just never became Blood. You know what I'm saying? All of my niggas around me is Blood. Mostly all the niggas I know is Blood. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. I fuck with niggas. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I'm not Blood. I never been Blood. So when I went to, so like I said, when it first came out, before I was gonna be Blood, I was kind of like skeptical about that shit because I was like, yo, man, I don't give a fuck, my nigga, what niggas saying they is. You know what I'm saying? This is when it first started hitting, though. And this is before I even went to jail in 96. This is like 95 or some shit like that. it was coming out. I was hearing a little bit because around my block, 163rd and Sherman and all that, you heard, and Shiesty and all that, Teller, all that over there, you heard, Sheridan and all that, you heard. Niggas was talking about on the TV, niggas on the news, niggas is saying how it was this new game called the Bloods, and for initiation they was gonna be cutting kids and da 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 da. Like I remember that shit in the '90s. That's what made Bloods no joke. And when I was hearing that, I was like, yo, ain't nobody cutting my little brother and sister. I don't give a fuck what, who, or what. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of time I was on. I wasn't even no tough nigga like that at all. I wasn't into nothing. I ain't get into nothing. I wasn't in no, you know what I'm saying? I fought before, but I wasn't like that. All I knew was that my little sister and brother wasn't getting cut by nobody. I was always walking them to school and all that. So, but that's what made Bloods mad feared. That's why I'm saying I look up today and I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not knocking what's going on because I don't know what's going on. This is their business. New era of that shit, I don't know. I never knew. But as being neutral, nigga, I was in that shit. I had to be in it whether I wanted to or not. Nigga, when I had to go to the island, that shit was serious right there. And you know what I'm saying? I just gave y'all a little bit of me in the street. When I caught my first case and I went to the island, like I said in my Rikers Island story, it was no Bloods like that. And if they was from me hearing certain people, YouTubers, I listen. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here listening to everybody content. I love everybody content. And I listen to different people. So, and I hear what they say. So it's not that they wasn't around. So let me stop saying that shit. It's not that they wasn't around. I think they was in the box, if I'm not, mistaken from hearing people on YouTube, with their content. If I'm not mistaken, they was in the box probably at that time, 95, 96. Because they wasn't around like that out when I was I went to the Beacon. All I heard was, all I knew was 5%ers, Nietas, and Latin Kings. And even the Crips, I only heard a little bit. But I was hearing you wasn't going to hear from them or something. You wasn't going to see them because they on the low and this, that, and third at that time. So you never would have known if you was around a Crip or not. You know what I'm saying? Blood, them niggas is out with that shit, open with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So them niggas, and them niggas, it wasn't no fucking game with Bloods, bro. So I don't know, like today is different from what I see. But then, niggas was not playing with Bloods, bro. Straight the fuck up and down. The Blood niggas was real, my nigga. Them niggas knew what time it is. And like I said, when I got on the island and they started coming out full force and I started seeing, that's when I was like, oh, okay. And I would have been Blood. Don't get me wrong, yo. I I love all people. You know what I'm saying? I know Spanish people, all kind of people. But I understand because when I was on the island at that time, I seen it a little bit, and I always was, leery about it. But I got Spanish niggas on my block that raised me that I fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And all that. You know what I'm saying? That was certain things that was nietas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really know it like that. And I'm young. I'm just getting into all of that racist shit and all that. So when I was up there, I did see it a little bit. But when I first came in the house, I don't know I forgot what house it was. But when I first got in the house, I ran into the king, this dude named King Chino. Yo, I came in the house. I got on the phone. I was fine. Nigga gave me soap, this, that, and the third. I was fine. I ain't have to, nobody look for nothing back or nothing. Them niggas just was like, yo, you all right? Yo, here, yo, you can get on the phone. I probably, I got on, of course, after everybody else, or if before everybody else, because mainly my times anyway to use the phone was basically in the morning time. I call my people in the morning time, and then at nighttime, I get a call in, but I'll wait because I'm not a part of their system. I'm not a part of what's going on in here. I'm a part because I'm here, but I don't give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not no fucking gang, and I ain't going to get the shit beat out of me just for a fucking stupid-ass phone. But I will fucking, like I said in my Rikers Island story, I am going to use the phone. But I wasn't a nigga that sweated the phone like that. So I didn't, TV. So I ain't have to worry about all that shit. And like I said, I ain't take from niggas or none of that. I ain't had nothing for niggas to take. I ain't had no family to be sending me shit. I ain't have gold on my neck and fly sneakers all the time. So really that wasn't going to come to me. You know what I'm saying? If it would have came to me, it's because of, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Regular jail shit or regular man shit or whatever. If that would have came to me. I never got cut in my face or nothing. Never got jumped, beat up, not in jail. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, I mind my business, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of niggas that I didn't know that was blood already, or niggas, you know what I'm saying, I know from the street before they fucking blood. You feel me? So, you know, it is what it is. But I wasn't a blood. But like I said, I was going to be a blood, Westside Swan. Um, and like I said, you know what I mean? So, in being neutral, that shit, you know, it's real being neutral, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, most of the time you got to stand by yourself. You got to stand on your own 2 feet, you know? And even if that means but you got to know how to pick and choose your battles. You can't be in a fucking, and I was a basketball player. I played ball and I was nice. So I skipped one time of me being in the Brooklyn house. I went to the Brooklyn house too at one time before, you know what I'm saying, while I was getting locked up over there. I think after I got violated or something. I went to the Brooklyn house because that's where I caught my first case at. I meant to mention that in my last story, my Rikers Island story. And I was in the Brooklyn house with a bunch of bloods, nigga. You heard what I'm saying? JB and all these niggas, you know what I'm saying? I don't know them. I knew them not personally, but I knew them because I came out from playing ball and we going to the gym. I played against these niggas because I was nice. You see what I'm saying? And my leg was fucked up. And I still was busting niggas' asses. You heard what I'm saying? Bloods, you know what I'm saying? Niggas, they was bloods, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I didn't really never have a problem with, I never really got pressed or nothing like that anywhere I was at. Brooklyn House, anywhere. C-74, wherever. Beacon, wherever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting to no problems and shit like that. I'm out in my fucking business. And, you know, I guess if I fucked with some niggas fucked with me. If they felt my vibe, I felt theirs. You know, it is what it is. Live wires connect. You know what I'm saying? Real recognize real. And that's it. You heard what I'm saying? But like I said, it's tough being neutral. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta, like I said, you gotta know when to pick and choose your fucking battles, bro. Sylvie, you gotta know when to pick and choose your battles. You can't be playing ball or doing some shit or whatever with a bunch of 1,000 fucking bloods, nigga, and it's just you and over some dumb shit because a nigga might have fouled you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And now you got, because you want to be hard and tough and all that when it's just a basketball game. And now, because you want to be tough and all that, now you got a problem with 1,000 bloods. If niggas is going to beat the shit out you. Period. I don't give a fuck who you is. You know what I'm saying? It's more than one. You feel me? So, you gotta pick and choose your battles. I'm not telling niggas to be punks, because if you gotta go out, you gotta fucking go out. But just know, there's a bunch of them niggas, son, and they on it. Now I'm saying them niggas is on it, period. Other gangs too, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the Bloods because those are the ones that made more, not that they made more noise, I can't say all that. But they came hard. Pause. You heard? The niggas came out hard. You know, them niggas wasn't playing when they came out. You heard? And the brotherly love override oppression and destruction. I understand that because, you know, I was saying to myself too, man, listen, ain't nobody gonna be oppressing me. You know what I'm saying? The only problem is after they came out so strong and they were so on it like that everybody got oppressed. So even if you wasn't, and I understand the fact that because a lot of black niggas was on that type of time too, like, yo, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't my problem. I don't know what the nigga did. A lot of black niggas was on that shit, son. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fucking standing like, I don't give a fuck what happened. Nobody touching this nigga. You know what I'm saying? You probably run into a few. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, a lot of black niggas was on that shit. Like, I don't know that nigga. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You be fucking fighting a bunch of niggas, Spanish niggas by yourself. I remember that. I remember hearing that and seeing that. So niggas ain't lying about that. So I think the Bloods, starting the Bloods, I think it was good. Because, or whatever gang, for anybody culture or whatever, because who wants to be by themselves? Gotta go through all this shit like this. Yeah, it's plenty of one-man gangs. There's plenty of niggas that held it down on their own and all that and did that and was popping off on niggas and doing this and doing that and going against gangs and all that and da. I know it because there's a lot of niggas that wasn't going for that. You know what I'm saying? If you got to get smoked out the house, you got to get smoked out the house. Because obviously, you willing to fight everybody and do all that. So, you know what I'm saying? If you willing to do that, niggas is going, you gotta be ready to get jumped by 1,000 bloods, nigga. Period, nigga. I don't care who you is. You feel me? And that's a fact. You know what I mean? That's a fact. You gotta be ready to get, so one man, you ain't gonna do it by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So being neutral is tough going through there. You know, when you blood or you in the game, like I said, with the food, when it come down to the food, 9 times out of 10, if you in the blood, you in the game, niggas gonna fuck around, look out for you and shit. If you neutral, niggas ain't trying to give you shit. It's ugly, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? You know, I seen niggas go through all kind of shit in there. Plus putting niggas through shit, making niggas sing the medication dance and sing with one foot in the toilet and all that wild shit. Yo, none of that shit never happened to me, son. Cause I would have had to get smoked, my nigga. Period. Because I'm glad that shit never happened to me. Cause I know I wasn't doing none of that. I would have got smoked. That would have been it. Like all the other niggas that's neutral and that wasn't having that shit, they got smoked. I just happened never to get smoked out of a house or nothing like that because I was on a little bit different young time. I wasn't really on that type of time savageness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I could fight and all that shit, but I wasn't on that type of time. Blood niggas was on that type of time. Niggas was not playing something. That made Bloods dangerous. Niggas wasn't playing with Bloods. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, being neutral, that's part of being neutral. You know what I'm saying? Um, I ain't give a fuck. I'd rather be neutral though, because the good thing about being neutral, like me, being neutral, being that I was neutral and I came into jail, I didn't have to, like, nobody recognized me for popping on them and doing this and doing all that. Nobody said nothing, no, nothing like that. So they could never say that about a nigga that's neutral. You know what I'm saying? Because unless he did some shit from the street and whatever, niggas know him or whatever. But other than that, that's the good thing about being neutral. You can go through jail and not get fucking touched because especially if you mind your business and you're not the type of flamboyant, flashy nigga, you don't got a bunch of shit and all that, and you don't sneak thief from, you don't take from niggas, you know, niggas see that you mind your business and shit like that, you can get through. I did. I don't got no cuts on my face. So I'm saying the real. You know what I'm saying? I've been upstate and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know. Um, but you can go through jail and not get into nothing. You can make it through. Some, you know, the official niggas, the G niggas call that shit sliding through the cracks. Alright, fuck it. I slid through the cracks, and I'm happy because I ain't have to go through none of that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of blood niggas, excuse me, a lot of blood niggas I did run into that was cool. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of blood niggas that's cool, son. You know what I'm saying? And I ran into maybe a couple of Crips. I don't really know Crips like that. I'm gonna keep it 100. I just didn't really know them like that. But I ran into a lot of bloods. You know what I'm saying? Niggas that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was a little like on it back then. You know what I'm saying? When that blood shit first came out, and then when I went upstate. Before I went upstate on the island, that's when I guess when they started coming out the box, that's when I started seeing it being serious. Like niggas cutting niggas, you go to commissary, niggas cutting niggas paper bags open at the bottom, all your shit fall out, niggas taking niggas shit. Never happened to me, but I seen that shit happen to niggas. I was like, damn, niggas scrambling for their shit, all kind of wild shit. So blood niggas was on it, taking it and popping. So I know, you know what I'm saying? And that's as I went on in jail, that's when I started seeing them niggas, and then they just came full force. You know what I'm saying? That was that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't blood and if you 550, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas pop on you if they had to. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I don't know how it all the way went because I minded my business and I really got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? But um, when I went upstate, that's what I noticed about the island. Mad niggas have power on the island and doing all that on the island, wilding on the island. You heard? And but I noticed when I went upstate, and the first place I went was Ulster County. That's the first place I went. Either you go upstate or downstate. I went upstate. I ain't go downstate. I was happy. I don't want to be in no fucking cells. 23-hour lockdown. I don't know how niggas do it, but salute to all my niggas that went downstate. You heard? Fuck that. I'm glad I went to Ulster, son. Facts, my nigga. But you go up there, you get your hair cut and all that bullshit. That's the first stop I went to was Ulster County. That's the first place I went. First time up north, upstate. Get your greens, your boots, underwears, and all that shit. Cut off all your hair, t-shirts, and all that. Walk into the child hall, good food, better than Rikers Island. 100 times better than Rikers Island. You be happy up that motherfucker like, damn, yeah, this is what I'm talking about, even though you don't want to be in jail. But you be happy with the food. It was way better. Only problem is, of course, you're a nice amount of time away from your family and from where you from New York. You heard? But other than that, um, so yeah, that was the first place I went was Ulster County, and even in there it was Bloods and Crips in there, but I didn't really get to see them like that. I seen them because you gotta walk, but when you in that type of stuff, when you first get up to Austin, police is walking niggas to chow and shit like that until you get into a certain house, I think, and all that. Police is walking you to chow. I don't give a fuck what niggas talking about. Police is walking you to chow, and nah, you ain't really got to deal with the population yet. You in population, but you just in one of them A1 houses and shit like that. So that's the first place I went. You know what I'm saying? It's Ulster. Then after that, them niggas, I was still neutral. You heard? So coming in, that was my first stop. After that, I went to Lakeview. They sent me up to the end of Canada to go to Lakeview. I was supposed to do shock program and all that shit. That shit was ridiculous up there. That shit was ridiculous up there, man. Snow was up to fucking here. Um, it was a CO up there, a white CO with a fucking tattoo of a black baby around his arm with a noose around his neck. I seen the dude for my own eyes. Guess their nigga name was Kojak or some shit. Funny shit is, niggas told me about him before I went upstate. Then I get up there and I see the guy. Um, yeah. I didn't stay. I got a little taste of the military shit, boot camp shit, because I was gonna do it. Um, right across the street from us, in the other houses over there, they had women with their hair cut too. Straight up, if you was going to do the shot program, you was getting your hair cut unless you had a certain tradition from your family or something, or your certain culture, whatever, I guess. But other than that, your shit coming off. Because even the girls' shit was off. All kind of shit where they was making niggas do all kind of shit. See niggas with big ass cigarettes like this that they got, balloon up shit. They had niggas hopping like frogs to the fuck, all kind of wild shit these niggas have you doing in that fucking shock program treatment shit. I was like, nah, I ain't doing it. I got shipped out of here. I was on an early pack up. I got packed up and they sent me, the next stop was Green. I went to Green in 1999, nigga. My number was 99R2608. You heard? When I went to Green, it was no Bloods living in Green. I'm telling you right now. If they was popping off once they got there, and they was popping off and they was getting to the box and they was out of there. Because when I got there, it was only Crips and Latin Kings in there. I don't know whatever else was in there, but the main thing I knew was in there was Crips. Basically Crips, because I heard that before I even got there. Like, yo, you going to Green, son? There's mad Crips up in there. It's gladiator school, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, I don't give a fuck, son. I ain't blood. Yo, that was my own shit. I ain't give a fuck. I ain't blood. So, but also, you ain't going to reap no benefits of not being blood either. So, like, again, you neutral. You see what I'm saying? But being neutral, I don't give a fuck where I'm going. I'm going to go where the fuck I got to go, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And however, you got to adapt to your environment. So when I got the Green, you already heard yo, it was Gladiator School in 99. You heard what I'm saying? Wasn't no Bloods like that. You know what I'm saying? I remember because I was on the bus with my man Oz. You heard he was blood. You heard what I'm saying? And that's the first thing he was telling me. Like, yo, son, as soon as I get in there, I'm popping off, son. I'm out of here. I ain't going to be able to stay here. I'm going to another jail. I was like, all right, son, I heard that, son. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I was on the bus where niggas be talking all that shit. I ain't gonna be blind. I ain't nothing. I'm neutral. I ain't never turning no gang. I was saying that too, and I meant it though. But when we got in there, certain niggas that was saying that, I seen the nigga, he turned Crip or whatever the case may be. But I don't know the nigga, but it was the time on the bus, we was on the bus together. And that's the shit that niggas was saying. But I was saying the same shit and I didn't turn Crip or blood or nothing. But I went to Green and I seen what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Again, in Green, you gotta, once you go in there, the mess hall is crazy. Just the walkway is crazy in Green. I was in the E tier dorm. The first dorm you go to when you first come in, anyways, E dorm, I think, because it's two sides. The other side is the KSAT side and all that other shit, the ASAP and all that shit side. I was on the side there wasn't none of that. And the dorm, the first dorm I was in was the E dorm, and I could see the basketball courts right there. And you got to get escorted to lunch by police. The yard is big. The walkway is crazy from where I was at all the way to the lunchroom, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, and in the morning time, mad foggy. You know what I mean? Niggas probably was getting cut and all that shit on that shit, my nigga, or whatever. It's crazy. I walked that shit myself. And I was like, damn, son. Walking through, I'm like, damn, nigga could easily get cut out here, da 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 da. I was on point, but I knew, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't believe how far that walk was from where my dorm was to the fucking mess hall. And mad foggy, I couldn't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and being neutral again. You know what I'm saying? I'm in green neutral. I ain't Crip or blood or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I went outside, played ball with everybody else, did the same thing with everybody else. Green, you already know. Rest up to my nigga Bunk, you heard? Rest in peace, Lockheed. You already know my nigga Broham. Rest up, both of y'all niggas. You heard? At that time, I ran into Bunk little brother Sawamin. You heard? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he remember, but he should remember. You know what I'm saying? Him and Larry was in there. I think Larry was in there for 7 years, and Sawamin was in there for 7.5 to 15. And I ran into Wyman, you heard? And how I ran into Wyman is because going out to play basketball and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm night, niggas is playing. We playing ball and shit. And every time I see this dude looking at me crazy, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, fuck this. I don't even know this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And we play ball and shit like that, playing ball, and we leave, go back inside next day, come out, play ball again. And then one day that happened, I came out, we playing ball, we was chilling, we playing ball like we usually do. Wasn't really no big problems or nothing. And then they moved me to another dorm. And when they moved me to this dorm, I'm chilling in the dorm now, niggas. That's where all the cooking go down there. Other niggas is cooking. They cooking good food up in there too, man. Don't get it twisted, cause it's fucking jail. Niggas cook, son. Them niggas was cooking. Especially if you part of a team. Again, you gotta be part of a team or something like that. If you're part of a team, then niggas cook for certain niggas. Or if you got money and niggas cook, niggas buy shit, niggas you can get you some food. But them niggas cooking there without no stove. But yeah, I'm in there. That's how I get to see all this stuff for the first time. And, I'm upstate. Walk into the day room and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's when Jennifer Lopez shit first came out. Because I basically went into the 2000s. You see what I'm saying? The new millennium. I basically went into that. Um, yeah, man. So being up there, and then we playing ball and shit a lot like that, and then I moved over there, and then one day they had it was a cool dude next to me or whatever the case may be. As a matter of fact, the dude that was next to me, we got a little cool, talking and stuff like that, and he showed me a picture. He showed me some pictures and shit. He showed me a picture of my man Chris Thompson from Queens. Yo, shout out to my man Chris Thompson. You heard? But he showed me some pictures, and I'm like, yo, that's my man Chris Thompson right there. He thought about it. He was like, yeah, that's his name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my nigga. I know, but I just wanted to say that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my nigga Chris Thompson. You heard? But yeah, and then like I think like a week later, maybe dude left, and then the nigga, and then Wyman moved next to me. And I thought I was gonna have problems. Like, oh man, this the dude that I'm playing basketball with. We was, grilling each other and shit like that. And he's setting up his bed and shit. I'm already there. He's setting up his bed, and then he started talking to me. We started talking like, yo, what's good, son? I'm from such and such, BK, da 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 da. I'm like, oh, word, I'm from the Bronx. You already know what up, da da da. And I'm looking at the nigga, and I'm like, damn, son, yo, you look like my man Salt. So he like Salt. So that's my brother. So I'm like, heard you. I'm outside. My name is Juice. I'm Bunk Little Man. Da 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 da. Oh, Bunk, that's my older brother. And from there, we clicked for a little bit. He was next to me, and then we was chilling. We took a couple of clicks out there. You heard what I'm saying in green. I don't know if he remember that, but most likely he should. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I remember. We did that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my nigga Sawaman. You already know the whole family. Rest in peace to Lockheed, you heard? Brohan, Big Bunk, you heard? You already know. So yeah, man. So being neutral is serious. You know what I'm saying? You are on your own. You gotta pick and choose your battles. You gotta know the bottom line. If you gotta hold yourself down, you're gonna hold yourself down regardless. Either you gonna fucking fight or flight. It ain't really no flight because there's nowhere to run. So it's either you gonna hold yourself down, or you gonna get your ass beat up. I'd rather get beat up fighting than get beat up and not fighting and really get fucked up. So you know what I'm saying? But the point, but don't go. Fuck jail. Don't go to jail. You heard me say that shit and right on my story, Rikers Island. Fuck jail, my nigga. I had to go. You know what I'm saying? Um, so being neutral, you know what I'm saying? That's what that shit ain't no joke, you know what I'm saying? Because you really by yourself unless you know niggas, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, but you ain't in no gang, so you got to pick and choose your battles and know what to do and what not to do, you know what I'm saying? And know when to move and when not to move. You heard? You already know. You already know though, it's your boy BX Juice. You already know I'm not a blood or a crip or none of that shit. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You already know. Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins. Shout out to my brother K Son. You already know my nigga Clutch. The whole Blackout. The whole Wester 163. The whole Shiesty. The whole Brown Building. The whole Bronx. You heard? The whole NYC. Brooklyn. Harlem. Everywhere. You heard? Long Island. Queens. Shout out to Connecticut, man. You already know, man. It's PX Juice, nigga. I'm not a blood or a crip. I pop off regardless, nigga. I'm a Bronx kid. You heard? Bow, nigga.